Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, October 17, 2023, meeting to order. First on the agenda is invocation reflection. Commissioner Hepler, I believe it's. Yeah.
Thank you. Please stand with me for a moment of reflection. Heavenly Father, please guide us as we make decisions to make for the Kalamazoo County. These are trying times as we try to fill the needs and cover the definite needs of our county and of our citizens. Thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us all throughout this community, and please watch over those who are in conflict around the world at this time. Watch over them, protect them, give them strength to get through these trying times. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk Cox, would you please take roll?
Commissioner DeLue. Here. Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazer. Here. Commissioner Morales. Here. Vice Chair Ray. Commissioner Streb. Here. Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler. Here. 9 present.
All right. Who wants to read proclamations? I've got Abby and communications. Commissioner Streb, do you want to take us through the 2 proclamations?
Sure, Chair. The first is item 2023-6933. It's a proclamation declaring October 26th as keeping the lights on after school day. I move that be adopted. Support.
There's a motion and support. Any discussion? Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler.
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer.
Yes.
Commissioner Morales.
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray.
Yes.
Commissioner Streb.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler. Yes. 9 yes.
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 Mine's going to use the DJ at college radio. Okay, next, Commissioner Morales, do you read, I think this was yours, the National Partnership Week? Do that? Oh,
That's okay.
just, we already read it. You just read it. Yeah.
I can move the next one. Item 2023-6934. It's a proclamation declaring November 13th through 19th, 2023 as National Apprenticeship Week. I move for its adoption.
There's a move and support by Commissioner Wheeler. Any discussion? Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner Gisler.
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer.
Yes.
Commissioner Morales. Yes. Vice Chair Ray. Yes. Commissioner Streb.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler. Yes. Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay, Commissioner Wheeler, do you want to take us through communications?
Sure. First one is Alcona County resolution opposing legislation preempting local control for solar and wind developments. Calcasieu County resolution opposing any legislation preempting local control for solar and wind developments. Comstock Center Downtown Development Authority will hold 2 informational meetings on November 20th and November 22nd. Osceola County resolution opposing the sanitary code. Community Climate Action and Climate Justice Questionnaire. 2023 Kalamazoo County Youth Fair Summary. Livingston County resolution establishing the Livingston County Health Advisory Committee. The 2023 Senior Expo update. Ottawa County resolution in support of vaccine choice. And lastly, Sheboygan County resolution opposing any legislation preempting local control for solar and wind.
Thank you very much. The chair knows of no other official communications. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to move the minutes of the October 3rd, 2023 draft committee of the whole and regular meeting minutes. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the agenda. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written. Commissioner Strauss.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to request the removal of item 2023-6947 to the non-consent agenda.
That would be the salary of
Treasurer.
salary of the treasurer. Okay. Are there any others? Now, I know I've gotten a phone call for some others to be removed. Is there any that want to remove these now? Any of the other ones? Speak now? Okay. Nothing else will be removed of it. Oh, yes, I do also need your, thank you very much, Vice Chair. I need to remove item B. I don't know what number it is, but the salary of the county clerk register fees. 6936. I cannot vote on that. I will be abstaining. Okay.
I have item number 2023-6935 and item number 2023-6938.
6935 and 6938. Okay. And those were the ones that I've given you permission. I'm sure put them up there. So. Okay. Okay, with those removals from the consent agenda, Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, would you take us through the consent agenda? Oh, so you got to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor signify by saying. I think we did have a motion with just an amendment, right? Okay, do we have a motion with those amendments? Thank you, Commissioner. A motion with those amendments and supported with those amendments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, now can you take us through consent, Vice Chair Pro Tem? Yep, we are now in public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the Board of Commissioners. I thought, for some reason, I thought we already did that. But please give us your name and address, and you have up to 4 minutes. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Chairman Taylor, ladies and gentlemen of the Commission. I am the Reverend William Stein. I am the co-founder and president of the Broncos Kitchen Foundation. During the allocation of the ARPA funds, our organization submitted a request for funding. We found out later on that it was staff, not commissioners, that voted that we should not receive those funds to feed the college students here in Kalamazoo County. Our organization does not, at this juncture, receive public funding to provide the resources, although we have struggled to provide this resource to those who are food insecure in the campus community. We have been blessed, especially last night, to serve a pancake dinner at our Wesley Foundation meal site. Mr. Chairman, as you are aware, I sent you a letter requesting a $250,000 grant that would enable our organization to continue feeding the students that attend Western, KVCC, and K College. Because of a minimal amount of funding, we are only serving meals one night a week. With your support and approval of this $250,000 grant, we will not only be able to reinstate our Thursday dinner, but we will be able to add yet another day, Wednesday. So these students will be served meals 3 nights a week rather than just one night a week. We appeal to you all on behalf of the students of the college community here in Kalamazoo County to support our efforts to continue providing them with meals. Since June 8th of 2020, Bronco's Kitchen has served, as of last night, more than 11,000 meals here in the county. And our organization, Bronco's Kitchen, is 11 years old as of February 29th of 2012, when we were incorporated by the state of Michigan. Moreover, at the recommendation of one of our board members, Dr. Vicki Edwards, she recommended that we incorporate a foundation, which we did. And 2 years ago, the Internal Revenue Service did acknowledge Bronco's Kitchen Foundation as a 501c3. All of this information is public record. We also provided it to you with our ARPA application. You can visit our website at broncoskitchen.org. We're also on the internet, Instagram, at Bronco's Kitchen KZOO. Ladies and gentlemen, we need your help to continue to feed your constituents. The Lord himself said, "Feed my sheep." And as a minister, we will endeavor to do so. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Reverend. Are there any other citizens?
Good evening, Commissioners. Emily Deering Caruso, 718 Fairview Avenue in Kalamazoo. I am a resident and business owner in Kalamazoo County and coming to you to request your support for the reproductive health services provided by YMCA Kalamazoo. As I mentioned in the meeting earlier, this fund was generously supported by Kalamazoo County Commission previously, and it provides comprehensive services to all residents of Kalamazoo County. 64% of services provided in 2022 were transportation, gender affirming care, products, prescriptions, and doula care. The majority of residents served by this fund are people of color, identify as LGBTQIA, have income below $24,600, and over half were employed, and 75% were enrolled in Medicaid or private insurance, and yet still could not cover these costs. A doula care, which is the non-medical support for pregnant people, is a proven method of reproductive care that supports families and reduces poor birth outcomes. Every family deserves an empowered, educated, and encouraging parenting experience. Through this fund, the folks at Rooted Doula Services here in Kalamazoo were provided 20 clients with free services, while their doulas received a living wage for this meaningful work. As a young mother myself, having that support is very, very, very important. This kind of support helps the entire family and is rarely covered by any form of insurance. YWCA's ask today is based entirely upon the needs of our community and over 2 whole years of services provided. YWCA is bold and honest, and that is because we respond to the people of Kalamazoo County. In a survey in 2019, 1 in 3 self-identified women in this county noted that they did not have access to comprehensive reproductive health services. That's nearly 44,000 residents of Kalamazoo County. The funds provided previously were used to support these efforts and are still needed. As you continue to tighten your budget and make your motions today, we hope that you will consider $100,000 in appropriations for YWCA reproductive health fund.
Thank you. Any other citizens?
Greetings, Commissioner Chair Taylor, Vice Chair Ray, and the rest of the County Commission. My name is Daniel Hamilton. I use he pronouns, and I serve as Director of Public Policy at YWCA Kalamazoo. I'm asking that this County Commission strongly consider voting to allocate $100,000 for the continued support of YWCA Kalamazoo's comprehensive reproductive health fund. A fund that since inception has zeroed out the balance for both direct and practical support for comprehensive reproductive health care services for all Kalamazoo County residents. Everyone deserves access to affordable and equitable reproductive health care, regardless of race, sexual orientation, income level, citizenship status, or insurance coverage. The fact remains that the reproductive health fund deserves continued investment from the county because this fund helps to assure that communities, that the community's reproductive health care needs are being met. And because of this, we believe that the county commission sees value in this work and in this mission as well. And as a matter of fact, we know the county commission sees value in this effort because this ask that is put before the county today is not new. In my hand here, I have a past signed contract between the county commission and the YWCA supporting gender affirming care and practical support for doula care as well. We believe that the county commission continues to see value in this work and continues to see value in this effort. The Kalamazoo County again has supported this effort once before, represented by many of the same faces here today. In 2021, the Kalamazoo County Commission voted to invest in the fund to support practical and direct support for doula care and gender affirming care. The motion hopefully put forth the motion that was put forth and passed back in 2021 will be no different from the proposed and voted motion hopefully put forth today to consider this allocation. YWCA Kalamazoo is ensuring that county dollars will continue to ensure that county dollars were directed as needed and within the confines of the law. The only difference is that this allocation will help to provide a greater impact to our community. So again, the opportunity we have here today should be voted on proudly and boldly by the commission to continue to stand in support of the community and in support of our partnership and protecting equitable access to comprehensive reproductive health care for all residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other residents wishing to address the board?
Good evening again, commissioners. Wonderful to see you. My name is Adrienne Zaya. I am the public policy coordinator for maternal and child health for YWCA Kalamazoo. Today, I'm once again coming before this body to ask for your continued partnership in addressing health equity and access to critical reproductive and gender affirming healthcare in Kalamazoo through the renewed financial support of YWCA Kalamazoo's Reproductive Health Fund. YWCA Kalamazoo believes that every person should be able to access essential care regardless of where they live, who they are, and how much they earn. Yet for many Michiganders, including Kalamazoo residents, having financial means, transportation, and insurance coverage for much needed reproductive and gender affirming care remains a challenge, making care unattainable for many. Such barriers and the delays in care that they create continue to exist in our community and have devastating impacts on women and birthing people, people of color, survivors of violence, undocumented people, LGBTQIA and plus and non-binary identities, and those working to make ends meet. To tackle some of these challenges, advocates, leaders, and community members across the state have taken action at the state level. Just last month, legislators in Lansing introduced several bills looking to repeal outdated restrictions to provisions of abortion care, and others have sought to tackle ongoing maternal and infant health crises through paid family leave policies, contraceptive access, birth justice, and much more. However, these efforts alone cannot fully resolve the barriers to care that are still present. Critical investments like those to the Reproductive Health Fund are needed to ensure individuals and families across Kalamazoo have access to care today and for years to come. The Reproductive Health Fund is an essential resource serving medically underserved and gender diverse individuals across Kalamazoo. In bridging the financial, transportation, and other support gaps for those seeking essential reproductive health care, Kalamazoo residents will be able to access the services they need to live full, healthy, and authentic lives. While Michigan continues to lead the fight for reproductive rights and access at the national level, Kalamazoo County and you all as Board of Commissioners have an incredible opportunity to lead with this work within our state and shape future efforts on this issue right here in our own community. Let Kalamazoo County continue to be a driving force for change and protect access to care for those most marginalized. We ask the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners for your continued funding support in the amount of $100,000 to the Reproductive Health Fund. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other residents wishing to address the board?
Greetings, Commissioner. My name is Bill Farmer. I live with my wife and 5 cats at 9200 36th Street South in Scotts and Pavilion Township. I'm also the chairperson of Michigan for Single Payer Healthcare, an all-volunteer statewide 501c4. We inform communities throughout the state about the benefits of implementing national legislation, generally called New and Expanded Medicare for All Acts. This legislation creates a single authority for paying all medically necessary healthcare costs for all who live in Michigan and throughout the United States. It is a publicly funded universal single-payer healthcare system which provides lifelong healthcare far beyond current Medicare coverages. 2 years ago, this body affirmed these facts by voting and passing a proclamation of support for the new and expanded Medicare for All Acts. With that vote, you joined 8 other cities, counties, and townships. This number continues to expand both in Michigan and nationally. It is through building this single-payer movement that we have discovered medical debt is causing bankruptcies, the loss of family homes and apartments, and further worsening of people's health to the point of creating a crisis within this county. I appear here to encourage you to vote affirmatively for the budget allocation dedicated to pay for medical debt relief. I have contacted 2 county commissioners to leave recorded messages of support on the county's call-in line. They represent respectively Oakland County in Michigan and Lucas County in Ohio, where Toledo is located. Both counties have successfully committed funds to wipe out medical debt and are deep into the process. Their respective hospitals and other area healthcare providers are helping and involved. It is widely understood by resolving medical debt in our community, lives will be saved, families will be able to keep living in their homes and apartments, and greatly reduce the filing of bankruptcies. I attended a conference in Oakland County where I was asked to facilitate a discussion on single-payer healthcare, its benefits and social impacts. It was during this conference I learned medical debt relief efforts in Oakland and Wayne counties. It made sense, and I wanted to bring this option to the community here. Through the good graces of Chair Taylor, Commissioner Strips, and Vice Mayor Cooney from the city, and County Commissioner Cavallo of Oakland County, we held a Zoom meeting where medical debt relief was discussed, and here we are today. I want to particularly thank Commissioner Strips for doing the necessary legwork and acting as a liaison between Medical Debt LCC and the Commission. I thank you all for proposing this very important service to our community. Our hope, am I done?
I'll let you finish your thought.
It's not done. Our hope is that this first step is well taken by our community and that cooperation with our area hospitals are successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other residents wishing to address the board?
Chair Taylor, Vice Chair Ray, Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, members of the Board of Commissioners. Today, you have amended your agenda by removing items 2023-6935, 2023-638, 2023-6947 from the consent agenda. Those are the resolutions dealing with elected official salaries for the prosecutor, sheriff, and treasurer. We would ask to be allowed to address the board at the time when those discussions are happening. I think it would be more appropriate to do so then than in public comment time. If that, by leave of the chair, if that's okay.
Yes, all employees are, if not granted a step increase, are allowed to do that. But I think it makes complete sense to allow you guys to offer you that opportunity as well.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name is Shona Espinoza and I live at 1118 East Stockbridge. So I'm here to ask the county to really look into our housing crisis. Our landlords don't treat our tenants like they're supposed to. They're raising the rent like crazy. How the homes that we move into aren't cleaned or fixed like they're supposed to, and then when you make a complaint, you're retaliated against. And then when you try to navigate through this housing system and the city and the county, it's like a big circle, you get nowhere. I've been dealing with this issue for the last couple of months and have been reaching out and asking for help, and because I decided to speak up about my situation, I am being retaliated against. I have got a so-called eviction notice and have been asked to be put out, and I just moved into this home in February. We have a big housing crisis here. This is why so many people are houses on the street. I'm asking you as the county to please come up with some type of solution to help us. We shouldn't be having to deal with this or go through this just because landlords are greedy and they don't want to take care of their properties. Not saying that all of them, but there is a big portion of them. We have children that shouldn't be put out on the street because we can't navigate through the system or get help like we should. I do appreciate those that have reached out. Thank you, Tammy, and thank you, Montes and Jan. You guys do come up and you do show out, but I'm asking the rest of you guys to please come up with something. We have so many people out on the street, almost about to be on the street, who can afford almost $2,000 a month. I work for the school and I love my job because I love these kids, but I don't get paid enough to make that type of rent, to pay that type of rent. I'm a single mother. I'm out here doing what's needed, but I'm asking you guys to please help us. This is crazy. The city doesn't seem to care, so I'm asking you as the county, please step in and help. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other residents wishing to address the county board? See none. Administrator Calvin, will you take us through our recorded calls?
Hello, this is Simone Schicker, and I live in Kalamazoo. I'm the rabbi of Temple B'nai Israel. I'd like to request that you please play this recorded public comment, the Tuesday, October 17th, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. committee meetings. I'm going to express my support for the commission to reallocate funding to the Reproductive Health Fund. I want the county to prioritize protecting access to reproductive, gender-affirming, and doula care. Delaying this essential health care can have lasting consequences for many in our community. A critical investment of $100,000 for YWCA Kalamazoo's Reproductive Health Fund will ensure that no Kalamazoo resident goes without care. We all deserve affordable and equitable access to essential reproductive health care. As a member of the clergy, I feel strongly that all of our citizens, all of our residents, should be able to receive the reproductive health care that they need. And the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund will help ensure this. Thank you. Hi, my name is Bertie Wilson. I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'd like this message to be recorded for public comment for Tuesday, October 17th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. committee meeting. Calling to express my support for the commission to reallocate funding to the Reproductive Health Fund. I want my county to prioritize access to reproductive care, gender-affirming care, and doula care. These are all very important things. These are all things that help us live healthier lives. Reproductive care is a preventative measure that stops abortions. I think it is a critical investment for the community. I think the investment from the YMCA Kalamazoo Reproductive Health Fund will ensure that no Kalamazoo resident has to go without care. We all deserve the care that we need, and we all deserve to live healthy lives. Thank you.
I am recording my message for the October 17th meeting of the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners. Please read my comments at both the 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. meetings. My name is Linda Stemp. I am a resident of Kalamazoo County. Regarding the 2024 budget, as a taxpayer of Kalamazoo, I do not want my taxes to go toward the YMCA Productive Health Fund which specifically includes abortion. Let's begin at fertilization. This is a well-known fact. We cannot cherry pick the sciences to avoid this fact. Abortion is a personal matter. The government needs to stay out of the business of abortion, and county taxpayers should not be made to subsidize abortion. Every human being, even a child in the womb, has the right to life. There is no society, no human authority, no science, whether medical, eugenic, social, moral, or even economic, that should deliberately dispose of an innocent human life. This means that no one, including the county government, should get involved in ending human life. The YWCA Reproductive Health Fund, which includes abortion, should not be funded in the 2024 budget of Kalamazoo County. Even if there's extra money to be found, it should not go toward the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund for abortion. Thank you for your careful consideration. I'm Jeanette Rubinsky, calling from Kalamazoo County. Please play this message at both 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. meetings of the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners on Tuesday, October 17th. I would like to respond to some commissioner comments made at the 7 p.m. meeting on October 3rd. The city of Kalamazoo asked the county to contribute $25,000 toward the cost of holiday decorations for the annual tree lighting ceremony in Bradford Park. The measure was defeated. During the discussion, Vice Chair Ray said that the money could be put to better use. The two examples that she gave were A, the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund, and B, a weatherization program to help people at risk of having their electricity shut off. I have no problems helping people avoid utility shut off. I do, however, have a huge problem with giving the money to the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund. Here are a few of the reasons. The goal of the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund is to increase access to abortion, artificial contraception, gender-affirming care, and dual care. First, abortion is a form of killing, just as gun violence is. In fact, abortion is even deadlier than gun violence. Both forms of killing must be stopped. Nobel Peace Prize winner St. Mother Teresa said, quote, "Any country that accepts abortion is not teaching its people to love, but to use violence to get what they want," end quote. Secondly, I'm against artificial contraception for religious reasons. For those who want it, it's already available through the county health department's family planning program, funded by Title $10. There's no need to give the YWCA money to duplicate those services. Third, gender-affirming care does not affirm one's God-given birth gender. It does exactly the opposite. It seeks to change one's birth gender through artificial means, such as lifelong cross-sex hormone treatment. That in turn leads to lifelong medical treatment dependency and sterilization. That's what a person wants to do to their body, that's their decision. But they should not ask somebody else to foot the bill. YWCA stands for Young Women's Christian Association. The Reproductive Health Fund does not promote Christian values. It focuses on counter-reproductive services. Please do not give any money to the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund in 2023, 2024, or any point thereafter. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Steve Reisner, and I'm a resident of Kalamazoo County. I live at 5240 Saddle Club Drive. Recording this comment to be played at both public meetings tomorrow. I want to say thank you to the commissioners for not including funding for the YMCA's Reproductive Health Fund in the 2024 budget. I am confident there are other ways the county can spend taxpayer dollars where residents of the county are helped in important ways without funding abortion. Thank you.
Hello, this is James Valuish, MD. I live in the city of Kalamazoo and practice medicine here for 35 years. I'd like to offer a comment. Tuesday, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. meetings on October 17th, tomorrow. I'd like to give 4 reasons for not giving any taxpayer money to the YWCA for abortions and gender transition drugs and surgery. The majority of the county citizens know that abortions are killing innocent unborn children. Don't use our tax dollars for this crime. So-called gender care is medical and/or surgical mutilation of psychologically disturbed children and adults. These people need psychiatric care. Permanent harm and no real good results from these medical and surgical experimental treatments. Abortions and so-called gender transition care are not the business of county government, nor the taxpayers. There are plenty of people who can support the YWCA with their private donations. You have important businesses, county commissioners, such as law enforcement, public health, including mental health, vaccinations, etc. And so let's stick to our business. If you just cannot resist spending all the money, you cannot bank it for a lean year, I would suggest using extra dollars to help struggling families to avoid foreclosures and to stay in their homes. Thank you again for your work as county commissioners and for listening to me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is John Bergham. I would like my comments read at the 4 and 7 o'clock meeting. I am calling and speaking out against the YWCA Reproductive Health Fund as I have weeks past. I wish I could be there speaking to you in person again, so you can see the importance of this not being passed in my faith and in my actions. Again, I'd like to extend some love to the transgender community. As Catholics, we pray for them. We love all people. But God didn't want this to take place, to have gender reproduction change or any of these actions be done. Specifically, he did not want for what God has created to be changed. It is not our place to change what God has brought about. Another concern I have with this is we are still learning. Insurance won't cover this for a reason. And with the board wanting to address more DE&I to be addressed in a lot of different venues. We still have problems on the north side with hunger, homelessness, and what have you. Why do we need to branch out in different areas when we can focus on this area of homelessness or other needs that may need to be addressed? And finally, I believe that we need to protect females. Females need to be protected. Opening up this door may open doors for other venues to where specifically we may have boys playing girls sports more worldly and having gone through the sex change. So I speak out against this, especially as the girls soccer coach at Hackett Catholic Central. Thanks for listening to me. Again, I speak out against the YWCA Productive Fund. I hope that we are not going to have this passed, as my tax dollars should not be going for something I, as a Catholic, do not support. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ann Cooper and I live in Portage, Michigan. Please play my comments at both the 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners meeting on October 17th. Today, I am calling to express my appreciation to you all for your very dedicated efforts to prepare a budget for our county for 2024 that serves the needs of our citizens of all ages and which takes into thoughtful consideration the input of citizens who have expressed concerns regarding specific programs. It was a wonderful experience to sit in the public seating area and to listen to all that transpired at the Marathon October 3rd meeting. Much patience and care was taken by all commissioners to fully complete discussion on each item and to reach a clear and thoughtful decision. I reviewed the proposed budget document in your agenda packet for the October 17th meeting and noted that the YWCA reproductive health grant request is not receiving funding in this 2024 budget. Thank you very much for listening to the concerns of everyone who called or spoke in opposition to this particular YWCA request. Dear Kalamazoo County Commissioners, your dedication to public service and to upholding the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of all citizens of Kalamazoo County is truly impressive and appreciated. I pray that you will always be guided with the same spirit as you carry out your duties throughout your terms of office. In closing, I'd like to share a slightly modified version of the final stanza of a favorite patriotic song, which we all know and love from childhood, America. Our Father's God, to thee, author of life, the pursuit of happiness and liberty. To thee we pray. Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King. May God bless you all, and may God bless America. Thank you so much.
That's too late. All right. Commissioner Vice Chair Pro Tem Kepler, will you take us through the consent agenda now?
Are you sure? Okay. Thank you, Chair. Yes. 2023-6864 request for authorize the county administrator controller to execute a contract amendment number 6 with CSM Group necessary to proceed with the Kalamazoo Avenue Justice Center building project. 2023-6919 request for approval of the amendment to purchasing policy contracts, section 9.01 general. 2023-6859 request for approval of the reappointment of Chris Burns to the Central County Transportation Authority, CCTA. 23-6867 request for approval to reappoint Danny Ray to the Land Bank Authority. 2023-6872 request for approval of an ARPA advance payment request from Playground L3C in the amount of $33,646 for payroll and engineering expenses. 2023-6937 request for approval of a resolution to establish the 2024 salary of the county drain commissioner. Okay, 2023-6912 request for approval of a resolution to temporarily authorize the county administrative controller to sign contracts for court order replacement of youth in residential treatment facilities. Circuit Court. 2023-6851 request for approval of the signature of the FY 23-24 annual plan and budget APD for the Child Care Fund. Clerk, 2023-6920 request for approval of resolution to approve the authorization of the board chair to sign a intergovernmental agreement for early voting election services between Kalamazoo County and associated municipalities and any smaller amendments to the intergovernmental agreement. Finance, 2023-6733. Recommendation for approval of accounts payable and payroll disbursement. 2023-6897. Request for approval of various budget adjustments and transfer housekeeping, health and community services. 2023-6808. Request for acceptance of a statement of grant award SGA number 20235 to the area aging 380 AA 3A 2023-667. Request for approval and signature of a purchase of service contract with the Pure Foods LLC DBA Mom's Meals Contract AAAP 0 OS 23-45 number 15. 2023-6520. Request for approval of one of the Health Resource and Service Administrator HRSA funding award, and number 2, a position elimination creation. 2023-6854. Request for approval of one MDHHS FY23 comprehensive agreement amendment number 2023-013804, and number 2, health officer to electively sign amendment to the county on the county's behalf within EGRAMS. Okay, Human Services 2023-6873. Request for approval of a COM1 Works Comprehensive Third Party Administrator TPA contract extension. 2023-6878. Request for approval of change to personnel policy 4.02 overtime and comp time. 23-6879. Request for approval change to personnel policy 4.01 pay period. 2023-6902. Request for approval change to personnel policy 8.02 severance pay. 2023-6883. Request for approval of an agreement with West Michigan Convention Venue LLC. Sheriff's Office 23-6857. Request for approval of a signature amendment to the contract for personal services with Hunt Medical Practices PLLC. 2023-6823. Request for approval of a signature on secondary amendment to the master services agreement with Global Link Corp. DBA via Technologies 23-6868. Request for approval of a signature on LOU between County Council and the Sheriff's Office and Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Deputies Association regarding Academy Graduate Seniority. 23-6869. Request for approval of a signature on security services proposal for the generator support with Allied Universal Technology Services. Request that this be voted on one time as a consent on the consent agenda for the county of Kalamazoo.
Okay, there's a motion and support. Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Vice Chair Pro Tem Huckler.
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer.
Yes.
Commissioner Morales.
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray.
Yes.
Commissioner Stratt.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Yes.
Commissioner DeLuca.
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler.
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay, next we will do in order that they were on the consent agenda. Commissioner DeLue, would you would you be willing to make this motion that? Yeah, just do it under or new. Yeah, you're new business. Yeah, well, first we have to go through the stuff that we removed from the consent agenda. Commissioner DeLue, would you read? I don't have the number, but I have a letter here. The prosecutor's salary.
2023-6935, request to approve a resolution to establish the 2024 salary of the Kalamazoo County Prosecuting.
There is a motion and support. Commissioner Strutz.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to lift up, it is the chair's prerogative how we engage in dialogue around this, but it is not an opportunity for every employee that does not receive a raise at the county to address the board directly. The board votes, they would have the opportunity to speak to us at public comment time. So I just wanted to lift that up. If they have a appeal to their direct supervisor.
They do have it, and I might have misspoke on that. They don't have the opportunity to come to the board, but they do have an opportunity to appeal to their direct supervisor. I'll state this during the way that the state law is written, that county commissioners determine the salary of the electeds. We're not their supervisors, but the way that they have the option. So I was giving them basically an equity sort of reasons, the same opportunity to go to or speak to whoever wasn't going to give them a step increase, whether it be a supervisor or per state statute who sets their salary. So yeah, I guess I misspoke a little bit on that, but it's the same sort of scenario. Commissioner Morales.
And for clarification to Administrator Catlin, when employees did express their concerns about salary increases, they did do that during public comment and not while we were in the middle of our discussion, correct?
Yes, that's correct. But what I'm saying is, Commissioner Morales, what I was getting at with Commissioner Strebs is when an employee does not receive their step increase, they have the opportunity to talk to their supervisor about that. Since the elected supervisors, general public, we're the ones that would fall, in my opinion, fall for that. But go ahead, Commissioner Morales.
But we didn't deny the step increase. Yeah, I mean, we have some questions. I understand what he's saying, but nothing has been denied yet.
Correct.
So this is my first time doing this. I just want some clarification. For the future, we didn't deny it, but.
No, correct. We have not denied anything that we do that after comments. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any discussion? There is a motion on the floor and support. Okay, Commissioner Morales.
So I had some conversation with some of my other colleagues and I have a question for the administrator and HR. When folks are going to their next step, do you have to rewrite their job description for them to get there? Or do you automatically move them there? Or when they have maxed out, do they stay? And if they qualify for the cost of living, they get it? Or when they max out at that year, they max out unless you create another description? I just wanted to be fair across the board. So that was my question. That is why I pulled what is the step, because we had folks come in that had maxed out and they were complaining because they didn't get moved up to the next step. And so I need some clarification on how we got here and how the decision was made to push the next step up. And will we do that for our county employees?
Yes, Commissioner Morales, so Board of Commissioners, so the process to be afforded a step increase all depends on your personnel evaluation. So you move up a step if you have received 2 out of 5, which is 2 being satisfactory completion of job duties as relates to your job description. So your supervisor and the employees sit down and figure that out. All employees, if approved by the Board of Commissioners, which tonight that's slated to be approved with 3% adjustment to the wage scale, all employees will receive that regardless January 1. the step increase is then awarded on your position anniversary date, and that's in consultation and in relation to the personnel evaluation. With regard to elected officials, step increases, they are afforded typically and have historically been afforded the exact same step increase that all other county employees would have been afforded. So since the budget plans for 3% wage scale adjustment and affords a step increase to all county employees, administration and finance, we have budgeted that in as planned because we don't know what the decision of the board of commissioners may be, but at least it's planned in there so that we can move forward with a balanced budget through discussions. And so that's, I hope that clarifies some of the questions that you have.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And I mean, we as elected officials don't have to take back but the voters to give us a 2 out of 5. So, yes, you answered my question. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray,
Yes.
Commissioner Strauss,
Yes.
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
9 yes.
Next is Commissioner Gisler. Would you read the county chair?
Request to approve a resolution to establish the 2024 salary of the county sheriff. That the board approve a resolution to establish the 2024 salary. Oh, excuse me, that's the wrong.
It's just a misunderstanding.
What I just said about the sheriff.
Support.
Support. There is a motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Vice Chair, or Commissioner Morales.
Thank you, Chair. I think my questions were answered on both of those items. So thank you.
Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray,
Yes.
Commissioner Strauss,
Yes.
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
9 yes.
For the next discussion, I yield my gavel.
So, who would like to read the next motion? 2023-6936.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I request approve resolution to establish the 2024 salary of the county clerk register of deeds.
Support. Any discussion?
Vice Chair Ray,
Yes.
Commissioner Strauss,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
8 yes, 1 abstention.
Next on the agenda is the resolution to establish the 2024 salary of the county treasurer. Commissioner Strauss.
Thank you, Chair. I will move the request to approve a resolution to establish 2024 salary of the county treasurer.
There is a motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Commissioner Strauss.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to move amendment to the resolution. The salary to be listed instead as Siegel K-Ban K 114B with an annual salary of $114,857.60.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there support? There's support for the amendment. No support for the amendment. Going once, going twice. Okay, we are back to the original motion, which is a K-step D band. Any commissioners wish to discuss the original motion? Commissioner Strauss.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to lift up the Board of Commissioners has been in close follow-up with the Treasurer's Office regarding a number of concerns over the past year over the financial handling of accounts within county government. The board in our last budget saw not to move forward with a raise for the county treasurer. Though circumstances have improved in the office because there's been a hire of a new deputy treasurer, what's before us at this time in the resolution with a K-114 step D represents a 10% salary increase for the treasurer, which I believe is extremely excessive for the level of performance in the office. The B band, which we were not able to engage in dialogue on, would have represented a 2% increase for the treasurer's office. I cannot support a 10% salary increase at this time. And as well, I want to just be mindful and lift up my sympathies to the treasurer and his family as they deal with personal issues at this time, but to be focused on the business of the county, I must express my position. Thank you.
Vice Chair Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I would just say that I agree with the comments of Commissioner Strauss. I do, however, think that the 2% increase is a little bit low, and I will be willing to support that to see that.
Commissioner Wheeler.
I think that I would be okay moving forward with the D step as proposed. One, for administration, and two, because we have seen significant strides in the treasurer's office. Is it perfect? No, I don't think any office is ever perfect. But to continually beat up the treasurer when, you know, he clearly is trying, I think is a little unfair. We're punishing him. It now appears that we're punishing him for trying to fix things in his office, and I don't necessarily think that that's fair. And so, you know, I want to give him an opportunity. Things are getting better. It can continue to get better. Why punish somebody for trying to fix things? I mean, there have been some shortfalls. I would love to see once the treasurer, you know, gets through his personal things that are going on. Love to see him at the meetings more, have more dialogue, and I think he's willing to do that. And I just think punishing him right now isn't exactly fair.
Thank you. Commissioner Morales.
Thank you, Chair. So I agree with my colleagues and Commissioner Strauss. I agree with you. However, tonight I am being very graceful because, you know, the treasurer is more out in the open with us. And when we hear about other elected officials is through our constituents. And some of the promises that were made to constituents from the prosecutor and the sheriff with community members, they're just not in here voicing it right now. They haven't been happy as well. They wanted transparency reports. They wanted different initiatives or people of color. And people are, I would say, doing the best that they can. So I am not going to penalize the three of them, especially when I got clarification. And then, you know, 24 is coming up, and that'll be their evaluation in 24. And so I'm not gonna go tit for tat with how much people are getting paid, but when I make these decisions, I want to make sure that we're being equitable across the board. So next time we have a CEQA study and our employees are coming up and they're complaining about not getting to the step, we better be making sure they get there regardless of what CEQA is saying. Thank you.
Any other? Commissioner Gissler.
Thank you, Chair. This is unusual. I find myself completely in line with Jen. I think 10% for the level of competence we've had from the treasurer's office over the duration of the tenure of the treasurer is uncalled for. I'll do anything I can to not vote for a 10% increase if that's what it boils down to. Thank you.
Commissioner Strauss.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate that. And I also want to lift up, I don't agree with punishing people for trying to improve, but I do believe all of us are accountable. And we act as the voice of the community one of the places that we have a decision-making influence is here on our budget and our salary matter. There have been improvements. I look forward to seeing those improve and an opportunity, to support that. But what was presented still represented an increase to the treasurer. So I want to, to articulate that, to characterize it as attempting to punish, I think is sort of misstated. It's about accountability. Thank you.
Commissioner DeLuca. I just have a question, actually. I'm assuming from administration, since you somewhat recommending this, the treasurer got a satisfactory in his evaluation.
So elected officials do not receive evaluations from anyone.
I guess I will speak last to this. I was totally expecting this to be a vote between the B and the C step. That's what I thought it was down. And I was prepared to support the C step. And the reason that being is because I believe it's gotten better in the treasurer's office, and it's 2 out of 5 is satisfactory. And that's how a traditional person gets a 1-step increase from a B to a C. So, I think the headline, if I read the reporters are in there, the headline of the treasurer's office is it's getting better. It really is. When I got on here, I've only had this year as a county commissioner to experience Thomas's work. The first month or two was a little bit rough. We were still waiting to get our investment reports, and we were still waiting to get things. But every month it got a little bit better. The investments started growing in percentages and yield. And then we also had, compared to a lot of county treasurers around the state who don't think it's part of their constitutional duty to care about foreclosure assistance or foreclosure fund. He's trying to do that. So there are a lot of other county treasurers in the state that don't do that. He does. I think that he deserves a step increase. I do. But to go to a D, if there's no, I can't make motions as chair, but if there's no amendments to go to a C, I will be voting for yes on this amendment. Vice Chair Pro Tem Hupper.
Question right now, where are we at? We're going to
Right now, the motion on the floor is for a K115 D 114 D step.
I just want to share that I concur with the chair's synopsis, and basically everybody I think is kind of in there. We're just waffling on where we're at, but I don't think we should be going to a D. I would go for a C, but not going to say.
Vice Chair, right?
And so I'd like to make that amended motion, that we approve a resolution to establish the 2024 salary of the county treasurer at the K114C.
There is a motion on the floor to amend the motion, and it has been supported. Now we're in discussion of the amendment of the motion from a D to a C. So a yes on this vote would change it from the original recommendation of the D step down to a C step, which would still represent 1 step increase. 6%, roughly 6, a little over 6%. Okay. Any discussion on this motion? Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner Strauss,
Yes.
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLuca,
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray,
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay, now we are voting on the amended motion, which is to establish the treasurer's salary at a K114C step. Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLuca.
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray,
Yes.
Commissioner Strauss,
Yes.
9 yes.
And I did offer if anybody, if we did not do administration recommendation, if you want to address the board, Thomas, or if you don't want to, that's fine as well. Either or. I hate to put you on the spot like that, but I offered that to other electeds. So.
I appreciate the opportunity. Board of Commissioners, I want to thank you for approving the step increase for the Treasurer's Office. Your decisions to increase or not increase my salary not only affects myself and my family, which I appreciate that, but also affects the morale of my staff. It not only reflects the idea of how the job that you think that I am doing, but it reflects on the job that you think that my staff is doing. My staff is amazing. They are some of the most fantastic people I have ever had the privilege to work with. And I want you to know that we are very blessed in this county to have a Treasurer's Office staff as competent, as experienced, and as capable as we do. So while I would have preferred the 10%, of course, I do appreciate the step increase, and thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda. Capital improvements, thank you. Okay, who wants to make that motion? Okay, Commissioner DeLue.
I move to adopt the CIP budget as recommended.
Okay, motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue,
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray,
Yes.
Commissioner Strauss,
Yes.
9 yes.
Commissioner Strauss, would you be available to read item, I don't have the number, but QQ in front of me? The resolution. 6961.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a resolution. This is to request the Kalamazoo County Road Commission, KCRC, initiate a process to ask employees to voluntarily self-identify. Whereas equal opportunity employment is the law of the land, and in the public sector, that means that all persons, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, shall have equal access to positions in public service, limited only to their ability to do the job. Whereas there is ample evidence in all sectors of society that such equal access frequently has been denied to members of certain groups because of their sex, race, or ethnic characteristics. Whereas the vigorous enforcement of laws against discrimination is essential, so are voluntary efforts on the part of public employers to ensure the positions in the public service are genuinely and equally accessible to qualified persons without regard to sex, racial, or ethnic characteristics. Whereas the importance of voluntary action on the part of employers is underscored by Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Executive Order 11246, and related laws and regulations, all of which emphasize a voluntary action to achieve equal employment opportunity. Whereas it's important to analyze an employer's workforce to determine whether percentages of sex, race, or ethnic groups in individual job classifications are substantially similar to the percentages of those groups available in the relevant job market who possess the basic job-related qualifications. Whereas the identification of substantial disparities in any such analysis of an employer's workforce requires the examination of each element of the overall selection process to determine what elements operate to exclude persons on the basis of sex, race, or ethnic group, if any. Whereas the key elements of the selection process to be examined include, but are not limited to, recruitment, testing, ranking, certification, interview, recommendation for selection, hiring, and promotion. Whereas employers should monitor and understand the impact its selection procedures have upon employment opportunities of persons to ensure compliance with state and federal law. Whereas asking individuals to voluntarily identify their sex, race, and ethnicity, herein voluntary self-identification, is an important tool that can enable employers to understand their employee populations and to implement diversity, equity, and inclusion, DE&I strategies and initiatives to build a culture that supports all people. Whereas voluntary self-identification can help an employer measure progress or success towards specific DE&I goals and objectives, and whereas the managing director, the Kalamazoo County Road Commission, the KCRC, publicly committed to sharing such data with the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the County Board of Commissioners requests that the KCRC initiate a process to ask current and future KCRC employees to self-identify key demographic data, including but not limited to sex, race, and ethnicity. Resolved that the County Board of Commissioners requests that the KCRC share the findings of this initial data collection with the County Administrator Controller within 30 days of the date of this resolution. I move that that be adopted.
Okay, there's a motion and support, and I think I owe a little bit of an explanation to this board how we got to this process. We originally had, and Administrator Kaplan, correct me if I'm wrong in any of these, but we originally had a leadership meeting where Commissioner Shrebs was at, and Commissioner Shrebs, correct me if I'm wrong as well too, where we were told that we could get demographic information to help with their hiring practice and hiring platform. It just seemed like a very simple, easy request. It turned out that they were not, they didn't have that information. They didn't have that internally. The Road Commission did not have that internal information. So my thought was, okay, let's start collecting it, come up with a process, start collecting this information. There seemed to be some reluctance, is the word I'll use, to gather that information or come up with a process to gather that information. Several times, I think, either my administration had asked. We did get a response in an email that wasn't originally sent to me, but I think you forwarded it to me, and then one of the road commissioners forwarded it to me again later. Where they said they didn't have that information, and that based on counsel, they were recommended to not gather that information, which seems odd because most organizations of that size would collect that information, whether it be Metro, whether it be the airport, whether it be some of the other internal organizations. I had asked the Road Commission to call Administrator Kaplan and just say, hey, we're working on it. We've got a process. We'll explain to you by the next leadership meeting. That was not done. So that's why we are here, basically, and why this is still on the agenda. Whereas I think this should have been a simple request. They could have said, yes, we don't have that information, but we're going to come up with a process to get that. This would not have had to be on the agenda had that happened. So Administrator Catlin, anything to add on you or Jen? No. Okay. So that's where we are today in this process, and that's how we got here. I do understand, and I talked to a commissioner in between meetings, the appearance of continuously beating up on the road commission, and this is not my intention whatsoever by voting for this motion. My vote, this is something that should be super simple to fix, super simple for an administrator to go out and collect that data. But again, this is only a request. They can explain to us at the next leadership meeting why they can't, come through with this request. But I see no harm in having an official ask for them to start gathering that information. So that's where I'm at in this. I don't want to take this as me going after the road commission or anything of that nature. I just think this is information that any organization that the county is involved with should have. Commissioner DeLuca.
Well, I've already asked one stupid question tonight, so I'll ask another one. So what do we hope to gain with this information? What is going to be the benefit?
My game is to hope that they start collecting this information, and then 2 years, 3 years down, and we're not going to get this information as a gotcha moment. You have so many people of color on your staff. That's not we use this information as a base. So we can say, this is where we are now. We can judge and gauge our practices, whether it be hiring, whether it be HR, whether it be how we do our recruitment tools. And we're not judging where we started from. We're judging on the progress that we make. And I think any sort of good HR or DEI would look at that information as, this isn't a gotcha information that we're trying to get demographic information from the road commission and say, well, you don't hire any people of color, and there's very few women in your staff. That's not our motivation, or at least my motivation for doing this. My motivation for doing this is, how do we incorporate the best HR practices, the best recruitment practices, so that we can continually get better. It's not how good or how bad you are, it's if you're always improving. And that's, that in my mind, that's a sign of a good organization.
Commissioner, we've had presentations by the road commission. They're reaching out to anybody that'll work for them. I don't know what this is gonna do as far as trying to reach out to more people. I mean, they're doing, from what I've heard, everything they can hire, they'll hire anyone. And I don't think it's.
And I see that, I can see your comment, but I see it as a double-sided sword. How does this gathering this information prove? And why the reluctance? That's kind of where I'm at. It seems so simple, but Commissioner Strauss.
Thank you, Chair. Just to, to talk to the value of DEI in culture and in hiring, it builds a healthier organization. It affords an opportunity for people of color, for people of other ethnicities or genders to feel like it's a place where maybe they want to apply. And we've heard from the Road Commission in their presentations that they're short of employment. They need more people. And so if we're really having discussions at the leadership level about how to be effective organizations, and part of that dialogue is about, well, what approaches are we using to solve here at the county? What are we doing to solve the problems of recruitment, right? And we as a county board have taken initiatives to implement DE&I strategies as one of the ways to address those issues. The Road Commissions asserts that they're committed to those same values. And so in order for them to actually make meaningful decisions about whether or not what they're trying is effective, then you need data. So you say, well, we've asked everybody to come work for us and we're still short of staff. Well, did we ask everybody? Or did they? This affords them the opportunity to have a deeper dialogue. And then maybe to look at, well, we attended this particular event and look, then we got in more applications. And over this year, when we attended these new events, we saw demographic information change by 2%. And they could say that's working for us. So they can employ further strategies to that end. So that's the value of it. It's data-informed decision-making. And you won't even look at where we are. You can't get to somewhere that's better.
Yeah, Vice Chair Pro Tem Pepper.
Thank you, Chair. I hear it all the time that everybody's looking to hire somebody. Our sheriff's department, our prosecutor's office, everybody out there is looking for people to come to work. I'm looking for people to come to work for me in many of the things that I do. So I don't want to fault our road commission. I know they're trying. They've got a huge job. The job's difficult. It's difficult to get up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to go out and plow streets in the middle of the night. A lot of people, shoot, you're lucky if you didn't come in 9 to 5. But it's, I think I just am not really, I concur with Commissioner Lou that it seems like we're kind of beating up on the road commission. And they need to be allowed to try to move ahead. And I think we can follow that, but I don't think we need to go after them with a resolution. I'm sorry, I just not agreeing with this. Thank you.
I've got Commissioner Morales and Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Chair. I can't talk what Commissioner Strauss said, but what is so hard about if you have 70 employees telling me if 5 of them are Hispanic, 5 of them are African American, 5 of them are other. This is what we're asking for. This is across the board. Employers give this information freely, so I don't understand. It's been like this with the road commission. Anything we ask is gonna count. Anything we ask is gonna add to. Y'all don't run us. Y'all don't give us the money, but when you need something, you want us to give it to you. But when we need something, it's a problem. And then you bring in legal teams. It's a simple question. How many Black folks you got? 2? Okay. So I am in support of this resolution. I'm not in support of this going back and forth. We're gonna have to tighten up. I don't know if it's between the administrator and the managing director over there. We're gonna have to, sit down and figure this out so that we don't waste time here having to put this out to get information that people deserve to have freely. It should just be on your website, especially if you have a diversity and inclusivity statement on it.
Commissioner Stubbs, I'm reading through this the third time. Before each request under resolve, would the chair would entertain a friendly amendment to say respectfully requests? I think that would add a little bit more to know that we're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, are you okay with adding respectfully to that?
Absolutely, I absolutely respectfully request. And I make a motion. Thank you.
I was just gonna remind that we don't have friendly amendments because it belongs to the body, so she will move the amendment, that would be lovely, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, maybe just as a matter of parlance there, Council. So I would move amendment to the resolution under both items as resolved. Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners respectfully requests.
Thank you. There is a motion on the floor. We're talking about respectfully. Commissioner Gissler.
You're gonna put a silk purse in the sow's ear or vice versa. I didn't hear anybody talk about the results we get from our road commission or the competence that we expect and get from our road commission. And you can't ask about ethnicity, sex, or race on an employment application. That's why they don't have it. And if this should pass, because I think this is a complete crock, if this should pass, I am going to encourage all the voluntary employees of the road commission to choose not to answer the questions. The management may feel they're obliged to do it, but the people that are actually doing the work and providing us with one of the best road systems in the state, I encourage you to not cooperate. Don't volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you. But Commissioner, oh, no, I skipped Commissioner Wheeler. Commissioner Morales. Yeah, we're speaking to the amendment to the respect. The first part was about cows and such, but the second part did get a little bit off the original amendment. You could say it for the next time. Save it for after that amendment. But we're just speaking to the respectful amendment. Okay, so let's just vote on the change of the amendment, and then we can vote on or discuss the original amendment. All those in favor, well, actually, we probably should take a voice vote on this. Yeah, let's do roll call. This is just on changing and adding respectfully before requests. I didn't know to do that.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gissler.
I respectfully vote no.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Heffler.
Yes, for changing the name or the wording.
Commissioner Mazer.
No.
Commissioner Morales.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Ray.
No.
Commissioner Stubbs.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
6 yes, 3 no.
Okay, we have the, now we're under the original motion and discussion. Commissioner Wheeler, sorry.
That's okay, thank you, Chair. It's about cooperation. Right? The road commission, we have been just trying to make things work. This is a simple ask that we can work together on. And honestly, to show faith that they're willing to cooperate, in my opinion. So that's what this really comes down to. It's that show of faith that they're willing to work with us and we can be an operational community together. Because we do need them, but they also need us. And this is something that they cooperate.
Okay, Commissioner. Oh, Commissioner Major, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand. And then Commissioner.
Well, I too feel that this is beating up the road commission and I'm not in favor of it.
Commissioner Morales.
Thank you, Chair. I don't feel like we're beating them up. We're just asking for information. And we get asked for things all the time. And that's our job. That's your job to produce results. That's your job to be transparent when you are under county government to give constituents and people what they ask for. Now, we have our own opinions on things, but when you go and say start a revolution, I don't want employees to be scared to come forward to put their stuff on me. But then you're gonna be looking at lawsuits and different other things. I wouldn't recommend that. You don't know how bosses are. And I don't wanna taint their boss, but if it's already pushed back with us, that could be some edge to go back and say, y'all better not do this. And I do not want employees working in fear. And moving forward, I just expect what I expected. You want anything from us. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Wheeler.
One last thing, Chair. I know that Commissioner Major, you don't sit in on the leadership meetings with the road commission, but a few of these folks do here, and they've also been beat up. It's been a back and forth. I've been beat up by the road commission with some of the things that I'm working on personally. So there are mutual asks coming back and forth, and I think that this is just something really simple, again, for a show of faith.
Commissioner Strauss.
I'm sorry, Chair. I just want to speak to the concept of the board acts through its motions and resolutions. And as a matter of board ethics, when the board takes a position and makes a vote, the ethical conduct of the board is for us to then support that work going forward. So, for example, we hired Administrator Cameron. Not everybody on this board voted for him, but then we all work to make that function as an action of the board. And that would be the ethical thing to do in any circumstance and resolutions we pass as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will speak last really quick. I want the road commission to know this is not me beating up on them. This is just me trying to get information, as Commissioner Wheeler said. So Clerk Cox, please. Oh, Commissioner Gissler.
Thank you, Chair. It looks like this may go a way I'd rather it not. So I will encourage all the road commission employees, as a Black woman tonight, to not vote and volunteer their information. I'm feeling Black and feeling female tonight.
Okay. With that said, Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner Duluth.
No.
Commissioner Gissler.
No.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Huckler.
No.
Commissioner Mazer.
No.
Commissioner Morales.
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray.
Yes.
Commissioner Strauss.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler. Yes. 5 yes, 4 no.
And we will discuss this, I'm sure, at our next leadership meeting. Commissioner Morales.
Chair, I'd like to bring, let's make a motion on the floor.
Are we under new business? Or
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
okay. Commissioner Morales.
I move that the board allocate $80,000 to the YWCA for the local assistance and tribal consistency fund to ensure quality and affordable reproductive care for residents in Kalamazoo County.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor. And can I get a copy of that? Actually.
Any discussion? Commissioner DeLu, and then Commissioner Gibson.
Did you say 8,000 or?
80.
Oh, 80,000. Oh, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner discussion, I will discuss last. Commissioner Gibson.
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. I don't want to support this for the reasons of I don't think we should be taking taxpayer money and allocating it to any nonprofit. If we have a contract with a nonprofit to perform services for the county, wonderful, or to buy products from that nonprofit. But to just push some money in their direction, I can understand why the taxpayers would really be distressed with that. If they want to support that operation, wonderful, write a check, personal check. Don't encourage us to move your money and everybody else's money in that direction. I just object vehemently. Thank you.
Commissioner Hepler, then Commissioner DeLu.
Thank you, Chair. We have heard for months now that opposition to funding a private organization. I cannot support this for any amount based on what we've heard. We continue to hear people tonight, every night for the last several months, expressing their concern for spending county taxpayer dollars on these type of things, and I will not be supporting this at all. Thank you.
I had a question. Was there part of this to be part of a signatory to, there was a lot of corporate counsel.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the original motion as drafted included a contract for services with YWCA, which would be similar to what was done in 2021. However, there are multiple statutes, including conflict of interest statutes, as well as incompatibility of office statutes, which likely apply to this situation at this time. One of the statutes requires that if a commissioner wishes to vote where they have a conflict of interest on a matter, they need to give notice during that meeting, first of all, in writing to the chair of such conflict of interest 7 days in advance of the meeting. They also need to disclose that conflict of interest at a board meeting if they are not recusing from voting on the contract. For those reasons, no notice was given, and so we removed from the motion any idea that there would be a contract at this point. But the intent would be that the contract would be drafted and come forward later when time for those conflict of interest notices and disclosures can be made.
Wouldn't it make more, because, okay, I'm just going to let Commissioner talk.
Any contract resulting from an allocation would have to come back before the board anyway. So we would be taking another vote at a future point in time on the contract language. So it's still appropriate because we'll have to move it at a future meeting for the consideration to happen around conflict of interest.
Okay, thank you for that. Why would we, what is the advantage of taking that vote now as opposed to waiting till we've got all the contract language situated? I guess Commissioner Sutton.
I mean, we would finalize the language then within the budget because this was elective funding that's allocated within our budget. So this would amend that language and allow the full budget to go forward without a need for additional revision, would be my understanding.
Well, right now, the LACTAF funding with 100,000, about 20,000, I think in our last meeting was said was needed for veterans vouchers, which leaves 80,000 left, provided the Veterans Village passed, correct?
So yes, but to balance the budget and to utilize all of the funding currently in the 2024 budget, veterans food vouchers are using the entire balance of that. So it's 100,000. So the board, by way of desire, we can, if the board votes to, at this point, allocate 80,000 of LATCF to YWCA, well, then we would allocate the remaining balance of the 20,000 to the food vouchers. But it would reduce that allocation. Right now in the 2024 budget, that entire 100,000 is earmarked for veterans food vouchers currently.
Okay, so it's currently earmarked for veterans vouchers, but the contract, I guess I'm just trying to go through it. Wouldn't it make more sense to wait 2 weeks? But if it does, if I'm not getting that from the budget process, I mean, LACTF, we could, you do it at any point. It doesn't necessarily need to be part of the budget process, right? It'd just be amendment. That's a liquid document.
That would be correct. So, exactly, yeah, it's separate from the, I mean, the general fund, it's even separate from ARPA. It can be allocated, just needs to be allocated within, the timeframe of, or by December 2026. So, yeah.
So if we have a commissioner that's not able to vote, wouldn't it make more sense to wait 2 weeks? Or she can, oh, you can vote. Oh, I thought it was,
That's why she took out that contract.
okay.
I just want to make clear that no disclosure has been made as required, which is a written affidavit in advance. So that has to come 7 days in advance of this meeting. And so Vice Chair Ray would be disqualified by statute from voting.
Vice Chair Ray.
That was a one question. So if you change the language, I also want to know too that we have this very exact same motion on the floor in 2021. Corporate counsel said it was no conflict of interest, that I could vote on it. I have the email, I have the messages that told me then that there was no conflict of interest. So hearing all of this tonight, and we've been talking about this for a very long time, is a little weird to me. So can we move forward with the current language, or are you referring to if we change it back to contract?
You can move forward with the motion as made, and that's an allocation of monies. But in terms of voting on a contract, you can't vote on a contract without that disclosure in writing in advance. And it's under review in terms of incompatibility of office as well. I don't know what former counsel would have advised in the situation, but I wasn't aware of your employment status until this evening.
Yeah, I also want to know too that there are several departments within the YWCA, and although I work at the YWCA, I do not work on the reproductive health fund, just to be clear, so everybody knows that.
Commissioner Morales?
So for clarity, council, striking what was in there before allows Vice Chair Ray to vote on what I just read, correct? If we put the original language back, then she would have to abstain from the vote.
That is why the motion was crafted in that way, correct? Because that way it's an allocation of where the budget's going is what she's voting on. And we'll bring the contract back and I'll prepare the affidavit that she can make the disclosure. And we can finish that analysis and just get those things taken care of as required by the statute, so yes.
It was also my understanding that if there was going to be a contract, that it would not include so there would be a provision that says we wouldn't violate Hyde, and then there would be a provision that says we wouldn't be using this for direct abortion services. By doing this allocation and not having those provisions in there, what does that necessarily do? Or does that just say, since we don't have a contract, we're not necessarily using this for abortion services? Or, I mean,
that does provide complications. I mean, you're correct. And, you know, at this point, it's sounding more and more like further review and additional consideration is probably warranted, and to get the contract aligned and to get the conflicts addressed and reviewed at this point. I just simply haven't had enough time to review it or go over it.
Commissioner Strips, and I'm going to try to let everybody else talk.
Yes.
Are there any other commissioners? Commissioner DeLuke?
Sorry. Another question. So is this going to short the veterans fund?
No, so we've spoken to Health and Community Services, in particular DSO. We're under the impression that they need around $20,000. By the time we meet next, we'll know if the veterans millage is passed, and then we likely would have a better answer for you. But it sounds like they need around $20,000 at this time.
And I assuming the veterans millage is going to pass, but I'm not sure. Commissioner Strips, back to you. Okay, any other commissioners? I guess I will just speak for me. I would feel much more comfortable if we had those provisions in that action, in the motion. that one that we had in the previous contract. I believe it was, Nathan was the gentleman that, he had the previous contract. That's what I would really feel more comfortable voting with than putting money into YWCA that had the potential, or at least the appearance from the public of using that money for direct abortion services, which is a violation behind it. Commissioner, yeah.
Thank you, Chair. So just to clarify again, I mean, before the allocation is executed, a contractor will come back before this board, and we can articulate whatever language we prefer in it, which would be a restatement of the prior contract, which did have those stipulations. And we'll have the opportunity to vote on that publicly, to make public comment on it, as will the community.
Okay. There's, we've heard so many different arguments, and there's one argument, I myself am pro-choice. I believe very strongly that person shouldn't be dictating what a woman can do and can't do with their own body. That being said, I would find it hypocritical for people, when people are pro-life that say everybody needs to be pro-life, or people that are pro-choice that say everybody needs to be pro-choice, using taxpayer dollars for abortion services is against my values of pro-choice. I believe that should be a choice. That being said, this, I would feel more comfortable voting yes on this if we had in that contract, or at least in your motion, that we will not be violating the Hyde Amendment. That would help me go a long way, instead of us being, part of my role is also, being a fiduciary of county taxpayer dollars. And I don't want to be caught in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of litigation based on my personal belief. But if we can put money out there to help people, I'm for that, but I really need that to make sure that we are not using taxpayer dollars for abortions. That's my stance on it, and I am firmly pro-choice. And with those amendments that was presented earlier by the gentleman doing public comment, I'd feel much more comfortable. But I thought it was in 2 weeks' time. Commissioner Morales.
Would you like me to amend the, would you like me to amend the motion?
That's up to you, but it would be far more likely to pass if you did.
I move that the board allocate $80,000 to the YWCA, not in violation of the Hyde Amendment, from Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund, LATCF, to ensure quality and affordable reproductive care for residents of Kalamazoo County.
Okay, there is a motion and support on the floor. Now we're at discussion of the original motion, or the amended motion. Actually, it's the original motion, because the other motion. We did. Oh, this is the amendment. It's been a long time. Okay, discussion on the amendment. Okay, Clerk Cox, you take roll on the amendment.
Commissioner Gissler,
No.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Huckler,
No.
Commissioner Mazer, no. Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bay,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratt,
Yes.
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLude,
Yes.
6 yes, 3 no.
Now we are on the original motion. Motion amended. Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Vice Chair Pro Tem Huckler,
No.
Commissioner Mazer,
No.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bay,
Yes.
Commissioner Stratt,
Yes.
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner DeLude,
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler,
No.
6 yes, 3 no.
Okay, the motion passes. I looking at my agenda, sorry. Annual meeting items. Commissioner Vice Chair, I'm not going to read the first one for budget for the county zero.
Thank you, Chair. 2023-6721, request for approval of a resolution to adopt the 24 budget for county of Kalamazoo.
Sorry, there's a motion. The budget. Okay. Okay. Yeah. There's a motion. Is the YWCA, is that part of the budget then, or is that part of a separate LACTF funding request?
So we already had LATCF in the 2024 budget. Based on the discussion and the approval of that funding, we can literally update real time the numbers associated with that. So we will reduce veterans food vouchers to 20,000. Director Post will do that now, and then we will add in the line for the YWCA funding at 80,000. So it's still net at 100. So the budget's still balanced regardless. But we'll add that now.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. No, supported by, no, okay, supported. So there's a motion on the floor for the county budget. Discussion? Clerk Cox, please take roll.
Commissioner Gissler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer. Yes. Commissioner Morales.
Yes.
Vice Chair Ray.
Yes.
Commissioner Stern.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay, next, the ad valorem taxes. Oh, no, the approval of the apportionment report. Commissioner Wheeler, do you want to do that?
I'll make a motion to approve the apportionment.
Motion and support. Discussion. Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer.
Yes.
Commissioner Morales. Yes. Vice Chair Ray.
Yes.
Commissioner Stearns.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler.
Yes.
9 yes.
Commissioner DeLue, you make a resolution to apportion ad valorem taxes.
23-6719, adoption of resolution to apportion the ad valorem taxes.
Motion and support. Clerk Cox, will you please take roll?
Commissioner Mazer.
Yes.
Commissioner Morales. Yes. Vice Chair Ray.
Yes.
Commissioner Stearns.
Yes.
Chair Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler.
Yes.
Commissioner DeLue.
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler.
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Yes.
9 yes.
Okay. Next, Next is public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the Board of Commissioners. Please give us your name and address, and you have up to 3 minutes.
30 seconds. Just getting Kalamazoo County Prosecutor on behalf of myself, the Office of the Prosecutor. Thank you. My 30 seconds starts over. Here, my 30 seconds starts now. Chair Taylor, Vice Chair Ray, Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, members of the Board of Commissioners, on behalf of myself, the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney, and all of the other county departments, I want to say thank you for your work on the 2024 budget and for its adoption tonight. I want to compliment Administration, Finance, and Human Resources for all of the hard work they did in crafting that budget. It doesn't meet everything that everything wants, but it meets the needs that we have now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lady Russo, similar sentiment. Just wanted to take this moment to thank all of the commissioners for all of your work tonight, last night, the night before that, all of the nights, the days. We really appreciate all of the work that you put in, the thought that you've put into this moment. This is a time where you are standing up for women, for men, for families in Kalamazoo County. This is really, really, really important work, and you showed up tonight. Thank you.
Any other citizens wishing to address the board? Seeing none, we'll go to reports of officers, bodies, and the controller. I guess I'll start off with, I've said it before, this is the most transformational budget I've ever been a part of. 27 new positions, that's huge. You know, we've got, we just passed tonight an intergovernmental cooperation of clerks with Meredith at the clerk's office. We had almost every single municipality sign on to an agreement. There's no other states in the county that of our size that have done that. The amount of work that office has done to do that is truly amazing. I didn't get to vote on her salary, but I can give her props on that at least. Also, the foreclosure assistance that Vice Chair Ray put in. The more I look into it, that was a really good idea, and I think used effectively, that's going to help a lot less foreclosures in some of our rural areas of the county. The intergovernmental agreements, foreclosure assistance, the most important in my mind is TriShare. The ability for our employees to have access or to affordable childcare, the medical debt relief. These are huge, huge, huge things that a local government is tackling, whether it be healthcare, whether it be childcare, whether it be the efficiency of service government, and we're doing it here. I'm pretty proud of all of us. We did it unanimously. So thank you. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. Got a lot of things going on, as the chair has pointed out. Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about the solid waste handling that this county and all of its municipalities, all 24 of them, are going to need to be a part of, or as many of them, at least 2/3, so that we can take care of the recycling and things that are important to not just our county, to our communities, but to our state, to our country, to our survival as citizens. I can't stress this enough that it's very important that we not bury ourselves in our own garbage when there are so many things that can be recycled and rehandled. Our community is working diligently on this, but it's something that needs to be kept in mind, and we need to work towards. I think that's going to be another huge issue for this community. Obviously, I'm a little disappointed in this vote that we just took, because I feel that we really kind of deceived the people. Came at the last 11th hour and didn't discuss this really like it should have been. It's been talked about by many, and a few have come forward and want more money. But being that's what you voted, that's what you get. I would ask that you consider thanking the people that are out there working for you in this county, all of our departments, and thank them when you see them, the work they're doing to serve our citizens and make this county a great place to live, work, and play is important. Please keep in mind all the military people. We're in conflicts now, and we're not, but there's conflicts going on all over the world, and our soldiers abroad, we need to thank them for their service. Our men and women in law enforcement and the firefighting and the medical fields that are out there every day, day in, day out, taking care of us, trying to protect us. We need to thank them also. So with that, have a safe week.
Administrator Kevlin, I did not forget.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, Pro Tem, Commissioners, audience. I want to first and foremost thank Board of Commissioners for their participation and thoughtful feedback during the budget process. This was a long process. We basically start the budget process and then we start audit. So it's like it's a never-ending cycle, and we appreciate your patience as we went through major staff transition, new ERP software, new budget book software, and hopefully you find that the new budget book is more transparent and easy to use. So, but I really want to share my utmost gratitude for the staff that had a huge task to produce this budget, because I certainly cannot do that alone. We count on the staff, our new finance director, Ryan Post, our two deputy administrators, Wendy Smith and Terrell Cole, and all the directors, the elected officials, the court administrators. It's really a collaborative team here. We all work very well together. We're very well together with board commissioners to really make things happen here in Kalamazoo County. So we're excited about the future in 2024 and beyond. So really wanted to share that sentiment that I have there. I have just three really quick updates, but important updates that I wanted to share. The first one being the Justice Center. As you know, that project was delayed until December 4th. I will be just as blunt as possible. We have been on them. We are in that building at least 3 times a week. We meet with them at least 4 times a week now, sometimes 5. And so we want to make sure that the courts and the prosecutor's office, including the sheriff's office, are in that building on time and that project's on budget. Because we have another major project coming up next year where we have to renovate the Gulf Road Justice Center for a new judge. So huge projects, never ending, but we have a committed team. Our building and grounds director has spent countless hours in that building. And we'll also have the building authority going, completing a walk through the building as desired by the board on October 27th at 9 a.m. So we're staying on top of it. We're hopeful by the end of the month, the building on the outside should look complete. They should have landscaping mostly in. A lot of the landscaping will get completed in spring next year as well. So, but the building should look pretty complete on the outside by the end of the month, as informed by our owner's rep. Wanted to just give you a quick update on the conference that Deputy Administrator Smith and I attended it was beginning of this month rather, in Austin, Texas. So it was the ICMA conference. Really, we learned a lot about the best practices, obviously, in this field and facing county government today. Topics such as recruitment and retention, pay equity, homelessness initiatives and solutions, things that are also common to Kalamazoo County government. And so we were able to learn about those best practices, and so we're going to be circling back with directors and our colleagues, even in the city of Kalamazoo, city of Portage, and our townships to share some of those presentations and solutions. The conference is certainly worthwhile for our professional development. I was actually able to befriend the city manager of Phoenix, Arizona, which is the largest, council manager form of government in the country, and they have a lot of homelessness issues and innovative solutions that they've been working on. So that have been making an impact. So those are things that might be able to be replicated in the county. Lastly, I wanted to share a sustainability feat that we realized that at the Expo Center. They just replaced 728 TA bulbs that are 32 watts each with all new LED lights that only utilize 17 watts. So they also replaced 15 halide 300 watt bulbs with new 132 watt fixtures. And this was in partnership with consumer energy rebate incentives. So we were able to take advantage of that and create a more sustainable building. So happy to answer any questions about any of these topics, but otherwise have a great evening.
Questions? Thank you, Kevin. Thank your staff as well. Who started out today? Commissioner Morales, I think you get to go first because Kepler started, right? Maybe. Yeah, Commissioner Morales go first.
Well, thank you, Chair. So thank you to Administrator Patman and his team for all of your hard work. We really appreciate you all. Thank you to my colleagues for passing this budget. And now we're on to the next big project. I'm glad to hear that you all are in there 4 to 5 days a week. Me and an administrator was at 2 weeks ago, walked over and I actually gave these employees some cookies. So maybe I need to bring some more to keep them on track. So other than that, I just have a brief statement that, I want to put out to my constituents who may be having a hard time dealing with what's going on over in Gaza right now. So with the horrific scenes that we witnessed over the weeks, have been hard to digest, comprehend, or even understand. Many ask how we got here or what will happen next. For many of my constituents on both ends, these moments are unbearable. The fear, the hurt, and lack of humanity eat away at our democratic principles. I grieve the innocent lives lost in Gaza and Israel. No one here in America or anywhere else should suffer or live under the fear of violence, hate, or discrimination. I will do all that I can to support our community in navigating through this difficult time. I pray for peace and a just future for all. For those in need of any mental health support, I will direct you to contact ISK. They have 24-hour access, and they have a 24-hour access center 7 days a week and a crisis line. You can call 888-373-6200. Again, that's 888-373-6200 or 269-373-6000, 269-373-6000. And for parents and students who are dealing with this situation, I encourage you to check in with your on-site counselors and student support services department. I also want to send my condolences to that family in Illinois. For me, that's a hate crime to stab a child 26 times because they are an Israeli American, and to stab their mother 6 times as well. So, you know, what's going on over there is what's going on over here, but when it pours over into our society for our American citizens, that is concerning for me. So, thank you.
Thank you for speaking from your heart, Commissioner Evans. I'll start back to the positive to the administration, Administrator Catlin, Deputy Administrator Smith and Cole, to our finance director, our elected officials, department heads. We've been through a few budget processes now, and when I hear our chair talk, and being very inspired by what we've done here. I thank him for his work in that as well. We've done good as a board. So thank you to everybody for that. We all can't agree all the time. And that is okay. As long as we find a way to do that with respect and concern for one another. I encourage us to lean towards that. Accountability is not attack. Accountability is how we improve. That's what we all should be striving to do. And as we go forward, please God, let us pray for the children of this world. That the people in positions of power at all levels be worth serving them. Their future is in the hands of the adults today. And the world we choose to build should be one of love and peace. Pray for all the innocent people across the earth, and that we prevail away from violence and war and move towards love.
Thank you. Commissioner Wheeler.
I just want to echo our thanks to administration and everybody who worked so hard on the budget. And I'm glad we got it to the finish line today. It's a good feeling. It's going to tell you to take a deep breath and maybe take a vacation day, but on it started, so I'm sorry. And again, I want to echo the sentiment of my colleagues, the atrocities that are going on in the world. I can. Thank you.
Commissioner DeLuca. Yeah, I called on the wisdom of an old Bristol commissioner here tonight. I said, why was this budget different than the others? And he said, because of the leadership of the board, those of you that work with the administration, and even in a letter today, the administration, finance, human resources. I mean, how many governmental entities get letters from every elected official stating, we like the budget, we'd like it to pass it. I mean, it's just, it was my first budget. I can't say that contributed to that, but it was certainly a learning experience, and hopefully next year I'll be more involved. And I want to thank this board for their support of the prosecutor's office and the sheriff's department.
And as the administrator mentioned, our next meeting will be after the vote, and for whoever's out there, vote yes for the vaccine. So, thank you.
Commissioners?
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. I have only two things to mention tonight. The first is very unusual for me to recommend voting for an increase in our taxes. But the vet millage is long overdue and it's not a lot of money. And I think as a county, we really don't have more worthy people than our veterans. The second one is kind of a pleasant thing to end on. The Avello Air coupons, good for 25 cents or 25 cents, excuse me, $25 off, are now extended to next June 30th. So anybody that wants to take a trip with kids to Disney World or something like that, it's right now only back and forth from here to Orlando, but it's been extended. Apparently Avello likes what's going on in Disney. And I've got a fistful of these left. So Craig Williams, the airport director, has got a closet full. So if you need some of these, either go to the airport or give me a yell, and I'll be happy to arrange for you to get a handful. Thank you.
Commissioner Mason?
I'm just gonna say I'm very disappointed with how things turned out this evening. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned.